I did a foundation degree at Truro College for 2 years, and then I went on to Plymouth College of Art to do a bachelor's degree in animation. So autism affects me on a day-to-day basis, mostly through social interaction and being able to read people's tone of voice, their body language, and their emotion. So when someone tells me it, I take it word for word. I don't, if they're talking about sarcasm, or if they ask me to do something that doesn't really make sense, it won't make sense to me at all. After I left university, I was trying to apply for jobs for a long time. I went to interviews after interview after interview after interview, and I got almost constant rejection. Mostly because of my autism, either not being able to talk within the interview, or from some interviews themselves and the interviewers giving the reason that I couldn't have the job purely because of autism.
So when I first met Toby, you could instantly tell he's a very gentle soul, and one of the first things that I think we spoke about was, because he's always very apologetic, he's always saying sorry and sorry and sorry, and he doesn't have a need to say sorry. It really doesn't, and didn't then and doesn't now. And so the first thing I said to him was actually, rather than saying sorry, say thank you. He said, well, why do I need to say thank you? And I said, well, say thank you because it has a better connotation. So rather than saying sorry for being late or sorry for needing time, just say thank you for allowing me the time, thank you for providing me with it. He said, oh, okay, so that was kind of one of the first things. And I know that we started that it was kind of like I was his mentor, and he was kind of the mentee, and it very, very quickly within what we were doing, it came the other way around. So he was actually my support, I was his mentor, but he was actually more of a support for me than I was for him, because we started a digital provision, so a creative provision, and his digital skills are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and mine are mediocre to average. So the idea was that I was leading it and he was actually supporting me with that digital stuff. It very quickly changed that I was doing the paperwork and kind of supporting him in that way, but everything digital he was doing.
So the coping mechanisms I use at work tends to be needing extra time to be able to communicate with my colleagues, or if I get overwhelmed, I tend to take 5 minutes to myself to bring my heart rate, my stress levels and my brain activity down a bit. I tend to listen to music while I'm working as well, because it tends to help me focus on the work when I've got a lot to do.
What kind of music do you listen to?
It tends to be, people find it odd, but I listen to really heavy metal to help calm me down, and people don't really understand that.
So out at Chaos Farm, what we do is we take a person-centred approach. So it's suitable for anybody, so people with autism or people without, with additional kind of challenges. So we ensure that we give people plenty of time, both to A, process, and B, to understand things. We make sure that we've got a really safe space so that anybody can ask questions. There's no repercussions from those questions, and no matter how many times those questions are asked, it's all good. A question is a question, and it's okay to ask. We make sure that we try to provide different ways of learning. So we do kind of physical, hands-on learning. We do it through theoretical practice, and we actually write everything on a board. So we talk through it in the first thing in the morning so that everybody hears it visually, hears it auditorily, and then we actually write it down on a big whiteboard so everybody can see it, and it can be like a step-by-step for everybody. We then make sure that we've got a breakout space so that if people need to just have a little bit of calm, just away from kind of the busyness of the farm group or the horticulture group, they can actually go into a safe place that's nice and quiet, it's sheltered, it's not got too much sunlight, it's not got too much wind, it's just a really nice environment which is semi away from everything. So they're still on the farm, still part of the process and still part of the daily tasks, but they're actually at that kind of step away, so they've got a bit of breakout really.
So Chaos has always been incredibly supportive, even when I began on the creative provision. They were incredibly inclusive, and if I ever needed help, there was always someone there I could ask. Even now when I'm working on the production assistant side, if I ever needed any help or any extra time on a project, or if I need to ask constant questions over and over again, they're always happy to help, and it's incredibly, I'm really happy working here. Incredibly happy working here.